Beyoncé and Jay-Z are in the middle of the biggest scandal of their entire careers. People are saying Jay-Z's name just popped up in documents connected to the Epstein case, and the internet is absolutely losing its mind. This whole situation has folks spinning because the couple everyone thought was untouchable might not be so untouchable after all. Everybody thought they knew the full story about Beyoncé and Jay-Z, the billion-dollar power couple, the comeback after Lemonade, the forgiveness, the growth. That was the version everyone repeated, the fairy tale of two people who survived infidelity and came out stronger on the other side. But now, screenshots of FBI intake records are flying across Reddit, Twitter, and TikTok with Jay-Z's government name circled in red. And the whole narrative is twisting. Because this isn't just about cheating anymore. This is about alleged connections to some of the darkest circles in Hollywood and beyond. And people are asking one terrifying question. What did Beyoncé know? Let me break this down because this is where everything gets absolutely insane. TMZ and multiple gossip outlets just started circulating leaked FBI documents, intake paperwork tied to the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. And in those documents, an unnamed woman reportedly told federal investigators that she woke up in a room during a horrific situation involving Harvey Weinstein, and that Jay-Z was allegedly present. Now, listen to this carefully. The paperwork doesn't say he touched her, it doesn't say he assaulted her, it doesn't say he physically did anything. But in 2024's internet climate, being in the room is enough for people to start treating you like you're guilty of everything. And for anyone who doesn't know, this is the same Jeffrey Epstein whose entire empire collapsed into one of the most disgusting scandals in modern history. Trafficking, abuse, powerful men in private jets and private islands, the kind of evil that makes your stomach turn. So when Jay-Z's name, Shawn Corey Carter, shows up anywhere near that world, people are not just shocked. They're furious. They're digging. They're connecting dots that may or may not even exist. But it gets even crazier. Online detectives took this to a whole new level, digging into every detail like they're on some CSI mission. They started studying old interviews, old photos, old lyrics, old business connections. Fans online swear they've been seeing the signs for years. The Illuminati theories, the occult symbolism in music videos, the mysterious deaths of people allegedly connected to Jay-Z's past. Folks are slowing down frames from award shows, zooming in on who Jay-Z was standing next to at galas, comparing his circle of friends to the names that got exposed in other Hollywood scandals. They're pulling up old clips of Beyoncé looking uncomfortable at certain events. They're rewatching the elevator fight with Solange and saying she knew something was wrong even back then. And honestly, whether any of this is real or not, the internet has already made up its mind. Because once your name touches Epstein in any capacity, the court of public opinion doesn't care about nuance. They don't care about context. They just want blood. Now, this whole situation gets even crazier when you realize Jay-Z and Beyoncé have spent literal decades building an image of perfection. The self-made billionaire, the greatest entertainer alive, the ultimate comeback story. The power couple who overcame betrayal and came out like royalty. But now, people are saying that glossy image was hiding something way darker, and the cracks are starting to show. Meanwhile, fans online have been working like full-blown investigators, cross-referencing names, dates, locations. They're comparing Jay-Z's travel schedule to Epstein's flight logs. They're looking at charity events where both men were reportedly in attendance. They're digging up old interviews where Jay-Z mentioned certain billionaires and politicians by name. And folks online swear this is the missing puzzle piece, the thing that finally explains why Jay-Z always moved so carefully, why he and Beyoncé live behind a fortress of NDAs, why they never really let anyone in, why Beyoncé stays silent no matter what scandal hits. Let's keep it real. Everything is speculation until it's proven in court. But speculation is what the internet runs on. And right now, the speculation around Jay-Z is absolutely nuclear. Now let's get into the motive, because this is where everything starts clicking into place in the most disturbing way possible. Jay-Z didn't just wake up one day as a billionaire. He clawed his way out of the Marcy projects in Brooklyn, sold drugs as a kid, survived a world that was trying to kill him, and turned himself into one of the most powerful men in music. That's the story everyone knows, the rags to riches legend. But here's what people are saying now. You don't get to the top of the top, the private jets, the $500 million streaming deals, the partnerships with billionaires and politicians, without playing in circles that most of us will never see. And some of those circles, allegedly, involve people who later got exposed for horrific crimes. Think about it. Jay-Z wasn't just a rapper. He became a business mogul. He was sitting in rooms with hedge fund managers, tech CEOs, Hollywood producers, media executives. He was shaking hands with people who controlled empires. And according to conspiracy theorists, some of those people were also shaking hands with Jeffrey Epstein. That kind of proximity, that kind of access, it comes with a price. And people online are now asking, what was the price Jay-Z paid? Back in the early 2000s, Jay-Z was untouchable. He was dropping classic albums, dating and then marrying the biggest star on the planet, building Roc Nation, launching Tidal, becoming the first billionaire rapper. Everything he touched turned to gold. But even back then, there were whispers, rumors about a mistress, rumors about someone dying under mysterious circumstances, rumors about Jay-Z being connected to people who cleaned up problems quietly. None of it was ever proven, but the rumors never fully died either. They just got buried under success. And now, with his name allegedly appearing in FBI documents tied to Epstein, those old rumors are crawling back from the grave like zombies, and they're spreading faster than ever. Put all that together, and it looks like the perfect recipe for a media firestorm that can take down an entire empire. But here's where it gets even worse for Jay-Z. This isn't happening in a vacuum. Diddy just got hit with multiple lawsuits. R. Kelly is in prison. Harvey Weinstein is in prison. Bill Cosby's legacy is destroyed. Kevin Spacey's career is over. Jeffrey Epstein is dead under suspicious circumstances. Ghislaine Maxwell is locked up. Powerful men are falling left and right, and the public is hungry for the next name. They want accountability. They want justice. And when they see Jay-Z's name anywhere near this kind of darkness, they're ready to drag him into the fire. And it's not just about Jay-Z. It's about what his downfall would mean. Because if Jay-Z falls, Beyoncé's image takes a hit too. Roc Nation's reputation crumbles. Every business deal gets re-examined. Every charity event gets side-eyed. Every collaboration gets side-eyed. The Carters built a billion-dollar empire on the idea that they were untouchable, that they were royalty, that they survived every storm and came out stronger on the other side. But now, this storm, this one might be different. Because people aren't just mad. They're not just disappointed. They're feeling betrayed. Fans who defended Beyoncé through the cheating scandal, who streamed Lemonade 1 million times, who stood by the couple during the elevator fight and the mistress rumors and the Illuminati conspiracy theories, those same fans are now saying, wait, what if we were defending something way darker than we ever knew? That's the kind of betrayal that doesn't heal. That's the kind of scandal that reshapes legacies. And the worst part? Jay-Z and Beyoncé haven't said a single word. No denial, no statement, no lawyer, no PR team scrambling to shut it down. Just silence. And that silence, it's making people even more suspicious. But here's the part that really hits different. The one who's caught in the middle of all this, the one who didn't ask for any of this chaos, is Beyonce. Because no matter what Jay-Z did or didn't do, Beyonce is the one who's about to face the world's judgment. She's the one who's going to get asked, "What did you know?" She's the one who's going to get accused of staying silent to protect the bag. She's the one who built a career on female empowerment, only to potentially be dragged for standing next to a man who allegedly stood in rooms with monsters. That's somebody's wife, somebody's mother, somebody who's been in the public eye since she was a literal teenager. And now she's dealing with a level of scrutiny that could break most people. The leaked documents don't mention her, but the internet doesn't care. They're dragging her into this anyway, because in their minds, there's no way she didn't know. There's no way she didn't see the signs. There's no way she stayed married to this man, rebuilt an empire with him, had 3 kids with him, and didn't know what kind of circles he was moving in. And honestly, that's messed up, because even if she knew nothing, she's going to carry this weight. Her name, her brand, her legacy, all of it tied to a man whose name is now being whispered in the same breath as Epstein and Weinstein. Imagine being Beyonce right now. You spent decades perfecting your image, decades building a fan base that worships you, decades turning pain into art. And now, all of it could crumble because of someone else's choices. That's somebody's life. That's trauma no amount of money can fix. And let's not forget, Beyonce has 3 children, Blue Ivy, Rumi, Sir. Those kids are going to grow up seeing their father's name in headlines tied to some of the darkest allegations imaginable. They're going to have to deal with classmates, strangers, the entire world asking questions about their family. That's the part that really cuts deep, because this isn't just celebrity drama. This is real life, real people, real families, real consequences. The Beehive is split in 2 right now. Half of them are screaming, "Leave Beyonce out of her husband's mess." The other half is whispering, "There's no way she doesn't know more than we do." And through it all, Beyonce stays silent, just like she always has. Because silence is her weapon. Silence is her shield. Silence is how she survives. But this time, people aren't sure if silence is going to be enough. Now, this whole situation gets even crazier when you realize this isn't the first time Jay-Z and Beyonce have been at the center of dark rumors. Let's rewind to 2014, the elevator fight. Solange absolutely losing it on Jay-Z while Beyonce stood there in that calm, terrifying silence. The footage leaked, the world went insane, and for weeks, nobody said a word. No explanation, no context, just silence. Then came Lemonade in 2016. Beyonce turned her pain into the most iconic album of her career. She put Jay-Z's infidelity on blast. She made the world watch him grovel. And somehow they survived. They rebuilt. They came back stronger. But people are saying now, what if Lemonade wasn't the full story? What if the cheating was just the surface? What if there were darker things happening behind closed doors that Beyonce couldn't put in an album? Think about it. Beyonce is a master of controlled storytelling. She only shows the world what she wants them to see. So if she revealed the cheating, what else could she be hiding? And then there's the mistress rumors, the conspiracy theories that have haunted Jay-Z for years, the whispers about a woman who allegedly died under suspicious circumstances. No proof, no charges, no confirmed details, just years of gossip channels and Reddit threads pushing the narrative. Now, with Jay-Z's name tied to FBI documents, those same conspiracy theorists are acting like they've been vindicated. They're saying, "We told you something was off. We told you he was moving in dark circles. We told you there was more to the story." And honestly, whether they're right or wrong, the damage is done. Because once the court of public opinion decides you're guilty, there's no coming back from that. Meanwhile, let's talk about the Illuminati theories, because for over a decade, people have obsessed over Jay-Z and Beyonce's alleged connection to secret societies. The ROC hand sign being called the all-seeing eye, Beyonce's formation visuals being labeled satanic, the Super Bowl performances, the stadium tours, the global dominance, all of it being blamed on some deal with the devil. And now that Jay-Z's name is being thrown around in the same breath as Epstein and Weinstein, the conspiracy crowd is acting like they won the championship ring. Their storyline goes something like this. Of course he was in those circles. Of course he knew those men. You don't get to the top without playing in the filth. Beyonce knew the game and chose power over purity. Is any of this proven? No. Is that stopping anyone from acting like it's the hidden truth? Absolutely not. And honestly, here's the thing. Jay-Z and Beyonce have always moved like a fortress. NDAs everywhere. No loose ends, no leaks, no tell-all interviews from former employees. They controlled every narrative. Every scandal got flipped into profit. Every rumor got buried under success. But this time, the rumor is too big. The allegations are too dark. And the internet is too hungry for accountability. People are openly saying, if Diddy fell and now Jay-Z's name is touching these files, who's next? And what did Beyonce know while she stood next to all of them in gowns and diamonds? That's the question that's tearing the beehive apart. Because some fans still believe Beyonce is innocent, that she's a victim of her husband's choices, that she deserves grace and privacy. But other fans, the ones who are done with blind loyalty, are asking harder questions. They're asking, how could she not know? How could she stay? How could she rebuild an empire with a man who allegedly moved in circles with predators? And those questions don't have easy answers. Because the truth is, we don't know what Beyonce knew. We don't know what she saw. We don't know what she was told. We don't know what she chose to ignore. We don't know if she's a victim or a co-conspirator or just a woman trying to survive in a world that's way more complicated than any of us can imagine. But the internet doesn't care about nuance. They want a villain. And if Jay-Z is the villain, Beyonce is the accomplice. And this story is still unfolding with way bigger implications than just one power couple scandal. What we're seeing here is how fame, power, and proximity to evil can destroy even the most carefully constructed images. Jay-Z and Beyonce spent decades building a brand of perfection, untouchable, unshakable, unbreakable, and now all of it is being questioned. The bigger conversation is about accountability, about who knew what, about who stayed silent, about who profited while darkness swirled around them. When you constantly rub shoulders with billionaires, politicians, Hollywood elites, and men who later get exposed for horrific crimes, you're not just networking. You're unintentionally, or maybe intentionally, becoming part of a system that protects predators. Jay-Z's situation is a wild example, but it's also a warning for anybody with power and influence. The more you climb, the more dangerous the circles become. The more you protect your image, the more fragile it actually is. The more you stay silent, the more guilty you look when the truth finally comes out. And let's keep it real. This isn't just about Jay-Z and Beyonce. This is about an entire industry. Hollywood, music, fashion, politics. All of it built on power dynamics that allow certain people to get away with anything. For years, people whispered about Epstein, about Weinstein, about Diddy, about R. Kelly. Everyone knew, but nobody said anything, because speaking up meant losing access, losing opportunities, losing money, losing power. But now, the floodgates are open. People are no longer afraid to name names. Victims are coming forward, documents are being leaked, and the powerful men who thought they were untouchable are realizing they're not. So where does that leave Jay-Z and Beyonce? If Jay-Z did nothing wrong, he needs to speak up. He needs to deny. He needs to provide context. He needs to clear his name, because silence in this situation looks like guilt. And if Beyonce had no knowledge of whatever Jay-Z was allegedly involved in, she needs to distance herself. She needs to protect her legacy. She needs to make it clear that she's not complicit. But neither of them has said a word, and that silence is deafening. People are asking, why haven't they lawyered up publicly? Why haven't they released a statement? Why haven't they sued for defamation? Why are they just letting the internet run wild with the narrative? Maybe they're being strategic. Maybe they're waiting for the right moment. Maybe their legal team advised them to stay quiet. Maybe they think the storm will pass like it always has before. But this storm feels different because it's not just about cheating or mistresses or elevator fights or Illuminati theories. This is about alleged proximity to one of the most evil men in modern history, and that's not something you can just formation your way out of. The Carters built an empire on image, on control, on perfection. But perfection is a fragile thing, and once it cracks, it shatters. And right now, the whole world is watching the cracks spread. The industry is watching too, because if Jay-Z falls, who's next? Which other powerful man is about to have his name dragged into the light? Which other mogul is about to face accusations? Which other couple is about to have their perfect image destroyed? Everyone's on edge. Everyone's nervous because the internet isn't stopping. They're digging, they're exposing, they're demanding accountability, and they're not going to stop until every dark secret is dragged into the sun. So here's where we're at right now. Jay-Z's name allegedly appears in FBI documents connected to the Epsteinkins. The internet is losing its mind. Old rumors are being resurrected. The beehive is fractured. And Beyonce, the woman who survived everything, is now facing the biggest crisis of her career. People are speculating about what happens next. Does Jay-Z release a statement? Does Beyonce finally break her silence? Do they divorce? Do they fight back? Do they disappear from the public eye? Do they double down and pretend nothing happened? Some fans think they'll weather the storm like they always have. They'll stay quiet, they'll let the internet exhaust itself, they'll drop a surprise album or a documentary that reframes the narrative. They'll remind the world why they're royalty. But other people, the ones who've been waiting for the Carters to fall, think this is the beginning of the end. They think this scandal is too big, too dark, too connected to real evil. They think Beyonce will eventually leave Jay-Z to protect her legacy. They think Roc Nation will crumble. They think the entire empire is about to collapse. And honestly, nobody knows what's going to happen because Jay-Z and Beyonce have always played by their own rules. They've always controlled the narrative. They've always survived the impossible. But this time, the narrative isn't in their control. This time, the internet has the screenshots, the documents, the old rumors, the conspiracy theories, the timelines, the connections. And the internet doesn't forgive. It doesn't forget. It doesn't move on. So the question isn't whether Jay-Z and Beyonce can survive this. The question is, what will survival even look like? Will they still be the power couple everyone admired? Or will they become a cautionary tale about what happens when you climb too high and stand too close to darkness? Reports say more documents could be coming, more names could be exposed, more connections could be revealed. And if Jay-Z's name shows up again, the internet is going to go absolutely nuclear. People are already saying this is just the beginning. Wait until they dig deeper. Wait until more victims come forward. Wait until the full story comes out. And maybe they're right. Maybe this is just the beginning. Maybe there's more to the story that we don't know yet. Maybe Jay-Z is innocent, and this is all just internet hysteria. Or maybe, just maybe, the perfect image we've been sold for decades was nothing but smoke and mirrors. Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, the Carters' empire is burning, and the whole world is watching the flames. Stay locked in because this story is about to get even crazier. More details are dropping every single day. More clues are surfacing. More people are speaking up. And reports say there could be even more names revealed in the coming weeks. So drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Jay-Z is innocent? Do you think Beyonce knew what was going on? Do you think this is all just internet hysteria? Or do you think there's real truth behind the allegations? And honestly, do you think the Carters' empire can survive this? Because this isn't just celebrity drama. This is about power. This is about accountability. This is about how far people will go to protect their image. And this is about whether the public is finally ready to hold powerful people responsible for the circles they move in. Make sure you like this video because the algorithm needs to know this story matters. Hit subscribe so you don't miss a single update, because trust me, this situation is far from over. And turn on notifications because when the next bombshell drops, and it will drop, you're going to want to be here first. I appreciate you for rocking with me through this whole breakdown. I know this one was heavy. I know this one hit different, but these are the stories that need to be told. These are the conversations that need to happen, because silence protects the guilty, and we're done staying silent. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there, stay vigilant, and remember, the people you idolize are still just people. And sometimes people do dark things. Sometimes people stay silent when they shouldn't. And sometimes the perfect image you've been sold is nothing but smoke and mirrors. Peace.